Good day. Here are the top stories for Friday, September 20th, 2025. In Washington, the Senate has confirmed Mike Waltz to be the new U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. The confirmation vote held yesterday passed with a tally of 47 to 43. In a notable show of bipartisanship on the appointment, 3 Democratic senators, Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire, John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, and Mark Kelly of Arizona, crossed the aisle to join all Republicans in voting for the confirmation. The timing of this appointment is critical, as it comes just ahead of the annual UN General Assembly, which is scheduled to take place next week in New York. President Donald Trump is set to attend the high-profile international gathering. Waltz's confirmation fills a significant diplomatic post that has been vacant for several months. The delay was a result of a strategic political calculation earlier this year. The original nominee, Representative Elise Stefanik of New York, had her nomination withdrawn by the White House. This decision was made due to the very narrow Republican majority in the House of Representatives. At the time, GOP leadership determined that they could not afford to lose her vote as they pushed to pass a major tax and spending bill. With that legislation now passed, the path was cleared for a new nominee. Mike Waltz, a Florida congressman and a former Green Beret, will now step into the role, becoming the face of American diplomacy at the United Nations. While the administration solidifies its diplomatic team, it is also making significant moves on domestic policy, particularly concerning immigration. Yesterday, President Trump signed a pair of executive orders that introduce major changes to the nation's visa system. The first order targets the H-1B visa program, which is designed for skilled foreign workers and is heavily used by the technology industry. A new fee of $100,000 will now be imposed on H-1B visa applicants. The second executive order establishes a new visa category, dubbed the Gold Card. This program is aimed at wealthy foreigners seeking expedited U.S. residency. To be eligible, applicants will need to pay a substantial, non-refundable processing fee, the exact amount of which has not yet been specified. They must also undergo a comprehensive vetting process by the Department of Homeland Security and make a $1 million contribution. Those who are accepted into the program will receive either an EB-1 or EB-2 visa, which are categories typically reserved for individuals with extraordinary abilities or advanced degrees. In signing the orders, President Trump stated that the changes will, quote, reduce our taxes greatly and hopefully bring some great people into our country. The administration also noted that all visas, including the new Gold Card, remain revocable based on national security risks or other criminal activity. In a related development, the Trump administration is also pursuing legal action to alter the status of certain immigrants already in the country. The administration has filed an emergency application with the Supreme Court asking for an order that would allow it to revoke temporary protected status, or TPS, for more than 300,000 Venezuelan immigrants. The application was directed to Justice Elena Kagan, who handles emergency appeals from the judicial circuit that includes California. This move comes after a federal district judge ruled on September 5th that the government lacked the legal authority to revoke the status. TPS is a designation created by a 1990 law that allows individuals from countries affected by armed conflict, natural disasters, or other extraordinary events to remain and work in the United States. The status was granted to Venezuelans due to the severe political and economic crisis in their home country. The administration's appeal to the Supreme Court now sets the stage for a high-stakes legal battle that could determine the fate of hundreds of thousands of people who cannot safely return home. As the administration's policies continue to shape the national landscape, attention is also turning to future elections and shifting political allegiances. In Ohio, a significant development is taking place in the 2026 gubernatorial race. Former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has secured a major endorsement from the Ohio Conference of Teamsters. This is a noteworthy shift, as the union, which represents over 50,000 workers in the state, has historically supported Democratic candidates, including former Representative Tim Ryan. In a statement, the Teamsters president Patrick Darrow said, "Our members want a leader who will fight for good-paying jobs and strengthen the future for Ohio's working families." Ramaswamy, a biotech entrepreneur, has already earned a handful of other union endorsements, including from plumbers, pipe fitters, and carpenters' councils. Interestingly, some of these same unions have also endorsed Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown in his re-election campaign, suggesting a complex political calculus among Ohio's labor groups. Ramaswamy, who has also been endorsed by President Trump and the Ohio Republican Party, said he was deeply grateful for the support, stating, "This isn't about left versus right, it's about up versus down." His campaign also noted that a significant portion of his early fundraising came from individuals who had previously donated to Democrat Tim Ryan, further highlighting a potential realignment of working-class voters in the state. While political campaigns highlight the strategic side of politics, a somber and urgent debate is unfolding in the nation's capital over the very nature of political discourse itself. In the wake of the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, lawmakers are wrestling with how to address hateful rhetoric and its connection to political violence. While leaders from both parties have unequivocally condemned the killing, they are deeply divided on the root cause of the current crisis. Some Republicans, like Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina, have accused the left of fostering an assassination culture and have called for social and professional consequences for those who celebrated the attack. On the other side, some Democrats, including Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, have sought to steer the conversation toward gun control as the more pressing issue. Other lawmakers are seeking a middle ground. Representative Richie Torres of New York emphasized the need to protect free speech while culturally condemning any rhetoric that glorifies violence. Representative Eric Swalwell of California suggested Congress should examine the role social media companies play in allowing violent rhetoric to spread on their platforms. The debate extends far beyond Capitol Hill. Across the country, individuals who mocked or praised Kirk's death on social media have faced real-world repercussions, with reports of firings from major companies and professional organizations. The tragic event has forced a national reckoning over where the line between protected speech and dangerous incitement lies, and what, if anything, can be done to lower the temperature of a dangerously polarized nation.